What's up, everybody? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and maybe good night, depending on where you're at. We are international, dude. The UFC card space is international. And let us know in the comments. Let me know in the comments where y'all at. What are you doing today? Hopefully, you had a good time watching the fights last night. They were absolutely insane. Today, we are going to talk about the newest 25 Chrome release. I just wanted to do a live stream, chat with you guys, talk about 2025 Topps Chrome, and see what you guys are hitting, what y'all think of the product, what are you hunting for. Also going to look at some eBay sales and comps so far, and some of the auctions that are going on right now, and talk about those cards. Are they going for too high, too low? What we think about some of the purchases that are already happened. What do we think is going to happen in the future? As well as we'll do a rookie scan. I know y'all know this. Last night, Josh Vann, Payton Talbott, really good performances. So we'll talk about some of the rookies in this really stacked 2025 rookie class. We'll see what, Vann and Talbott are going for right now. I'm pretty sure they're going to be surging right after that great fight night. As well as we'll look at some of the designs. What do y'all think about the designs? What's your favorite cards? We'll talk about, which ones we think are good designs, bad designs, short print, autos, you name it. I want to talk about it with y'all. And don't think we're not going to talk about the crazy performance from Ilia Topuria and Pantoja last night. Big implications in both of those divisions. We're going to talk about UFC 317 and the craziness with those fights and some of the matchups. But thank you guys for being here, man. Thanks for chilling with me today, talking about cards, talking about fights. If you're out there listening and you like UFC cards, please right now hit the like button. Hit it right now. The goal for this live is to hit 21 likes. The big fundamental, one of my heroes growing up, Tim Duncan, was number 21. Can we hit 21 likes today? We can do it. We can do it. All right, I'm going to go over to the comments and see what's going down over there, and then we will get into some of the pricing talks, some of the speculation talks, and then we'll get going from there. We got RV and Knack in the house. What is up, dude? Let me move this around. Haven't used this view in a while. Vann is a beast. Absolutely, man. What a performance by Josh Vann. We are going to look at some of his cards right now. Let's go over to, actually, let's talk about his performance first. We'll talk about Vann's performance first, then we'll look at his cards after that. Dude, it's insane, man. I mean, you have a guy that is that young, right? He's 23 already, just gets into the division. He's already vaulted into a title fight. Like, I was trying to think, have we ever seen a guy with a run that quick, that is this young? Like I know we had Payton, had a really accelerated run, super quickly got into the title fight, but he had so many accolades before. He had the history with Israel Adesanya. With Josh Vann, we're seeing a guy that is 23, basically getting vaulted as quick, if not quicker. I haven't did a timeline check. So it is absolutely insane, and I'm all here for it, man. It's fun. It's exciting. You could hear the crowd pop last night when they showed Vann after that incredible fight on the Jumbotron. The fans went crazy. Shout out to Jack at KC. He was at the fights. He said the same thing. He said the whole crowd was just loving Josh Vann, and we got him as a rookie, dude. 2025 rookie. I got a video. What's up, Matt? I got a video with Matt in the Golden Octagon talking about our favorite 2025 rookies, and he may or may not be on the list. You'll have to check that out. I think it's coming out tomorrow, so it'll be out soon. But I'm very excited about Josh Vann. Let's go back to the chat, and then we will talk about some of 2025 Topps Chrome. Let's see what we got. Speak of the man. What up, Matt? Thanks for being here, dude. Hope you and D Rose had fun last night. It was a great fight night, dude. Really good fight night. So I'm sure you guys had fun watching that back, hanging with the people. Glenn, what's up, dude? So happy Talbott bounced back. Me too. And we are going to talk about Payton Talbott very soon. I'm very excited to talk about him as well. And I'll talk about Josh Vann more just because it's such a fun storyline. But anytime we have new rookies, right? Like I kind of lean towards veterans usually. If there's a fight with veterans, with staff, I like dynasties. If there's a dynasty type guy that's a champ, I go for them. But when we have these young rookies coming up in a rookie class, that really makes me want to see them succeed and get some new blood, some new stars in the UFC. I mean, Talbot looked really exciting. We'll talk about his performance, but I am also happy that he got the win last night. Roman says, Royval brought the volume, but Vann brought the damage. Dude, what a good fight. What a good fight. That was probably the best fight that I've seen maybe in like 2 years. I'd have to go back through the Rolodex of fights, but like that was one where you could not look away. They were both just biting down on the mouthpiece. Constant damage. constant output, constant boxing, very fun and very even. Like very rarely do you see a fight that's that back and forth for that long. It was a really, really fun fight, man. We got a couple more comments. Tim's San Francisco Giants, man. Ilia gonna be a billionaire. Not sure people understand. Dude, how good is this guy, man? How good is Ilia Topuria? Also, he has a crazy online following. I don't, maybe, us Americans, we don't necessarily understand the international appeal to some of these guys, that are like in, like Habib in Russia, and then, some of the Spain over there near Europe and whatnot. But like, you have a lot of countries backing these guys, a lot of people, as well as us here in the United States. The dude is a superstar, and he proved it. He proved it last night. Magenta Placenta, what's up, dude? I saw your picture at the fights last night. What a good fight to be in the building at, man. Congratulations. I'm happy you were there to see that live. I can't only imagine. It was very fun on the couch. So in person, it had to have been electric. Thanks for listening today. Let's see. We got a couple more, and then we'll get into it. Let's see. Josh, 047 Sports Cards and TCGs. Titans card in Topps Chrome is currently high selling card at $300 for non-auto. Rest of Titan cards at $200. All right. Thank you, Josh. Let's get into some Topps Chrome talk. Let's talk about some pricing here. All right. We're first going to talk about Josh Vann. We'll talk about some pricing, and then, we'll talk about maybe a little bit more about the fighting and the storyline and whatnot. But I wanted to look at some of the highest selling cards from these rookies that we already have. We have Josh Vann. He's in a title fight, baby. He's fighting Alexandre Pantoja, which on paper is a really tough matchup for him, man. Pantoja is just such a good wrestler, grappler, control guy. That's kind of the game plan you would want against a powerful striker, counter striker like Josh Vann. But we're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about his pricing. And we have a of 5 rookie auto here that sold for $9.99. Now, is that underpriced? Do y'all think that's underpriced? Like, honestly, I could see a world where a 23-year-old guy that is already in a title shot, like, even if he loses, right, he only needs to win one more to be back in title contention. So is that low? We're looking at almost like a John Jones type of start to his career in title shot at, 23, 24 years old. That almost never happens. He showed last night that he can hang in there with the best, with a really game Brandon Royval, and he looked good doing it. Is $9.99 too low for an of 5 true auto on card? First auto, rookie auto on card, like very, very big card. $9.99. I wonder if somebody had set this to sell, and he set the $9.99 pricing before the fight, and then thinking maybe he would lose, and then then he ends up winning. So kind of interesting there. We got some Jones, and then our next rookie, we got Payton Talbott. We got Payton Talbott with the $400 Radiating Rookie sale. Now these are somewhat rare, right? These Radiating Rookies are somewhat rare. I should have wrote this down, but I want to say that they are, around a case hit or middling in there. So it's definitely a rare card, but this is technically like kind of an insert. So for $400. Interesting pricing. I would have to kind of look at that a little deeper to determine if I think that is, on point or not. But it's a good design. You got a really good rookie. He performed well last night, so I'm happy to see some big sales there for Payton Talbott also. Let's go over to eBay and check out Josh Vann before I go back to the chat and talk to you guys. And we already have some huge sales. I mean, we saw that of 5 auto. This is already up to 207 with 3 days left, dude. A rookie of 50. I like this card in this image. It's vertical. We got another auto that's going to sell rookie auto. Oh, is this a base? A base rookie auto for 150. Man, okay. We got to look at them just flying off the shelves. I was excited for both of these guys to win because I knew we were going to really get some big sales and a surge in their market. We got Josh Vann, blue of 150, $152. That's going to be a big sale already. You got 12 hours, so it'll be end of the night. It'll be ending there. And then another Radiating Rookie 137. So we have multiple triple-digit cards here going to be sold in the last couple hours, in the last couple days. And then all of these, so much time left. Like, the dude is just surging right now, man. The dude is surging. And let's talk a little bit. I'm coming back to the chat. I promise. I'm coming back to the chat. I really want to talk about, the performance here, because this really was like an all-time fight. This was one of the best fights I've seen in a long, long time, man. Shout out to both Joshua Vann and Brandon Royval for being game. 15 minutes straight, it was back and forth. These guys were landing great shots, striking at a high level. You had Royval being more of a volume guy. Really, his jab was on point, though. He was really cracking Vann with the jab. But then you have Josh Vann, so tight, so compact, really, really good counter striking. So this was a really fun one to watch. One cool thing about these lower weight classes, man, they don't necessarily get out a lot of love, but these guys are small humans. They don't carry a ton of muscle mass. They can just go. They are the Energizer bunnies. It was super close. And I was honestly going to be really sad for whoever lost this fight, but then we know Josh Vann absolutely rocked Royval in like the last, 15, 20 seconds left in the fight. And if he had 10 or 15 more seconds, he probably would have finished him. It was that close. But I was happy that at least we had a definitive end, because in my opinion, that fight was so close. I was thinking, oh man, this might be a draw. Like, it was 1, 2, and 3 I thought were so close. I was a little surprised that it was 30-27. In my opinion, I thought Royval won at least one of the first or second rounds. But with Josh Vann putting a stamp on that ending, I was like, okay, for sure they should give it to him. That was enough to really sway the closeness of the fight. And then we have Pantoja versus Josh Vann, like I said earlier, already 23 years old and coming up into a title fight, dude. Very fun times, very fun storylines. This card really just like elevated a lot of different matchups for us, so it's good to see. All right. Hey, if y'all are watching, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's try and get to 21. The big fundamental, Tim Duncan was my hero. Can we get 21 likes? All right. Let's get back to the chat. Tim, Vann has nasty takedown defense. Can Pantoja take him down? And that's the question, right? That is the question. Now, everybody knows if they're fighting Alexandre Pantoja, like, he's going to try and take you down. He's going to come after you. He is going to try and drown you with the grappling, try and submit you, try and wear you out, try and kind of grind, make it nasty. I mean, we saw Ray Saruya shoot like 20 takedowns on Josh Vann, and he did have really good takedown defense. So that's like that's the fun matchups here, right? Is like, can Josh Vann keep Pantoja from taking him down, and can he box his ears off? Like, that is going to be that simple, and I'm excited to see it, man. I'm excited to see it. All right, let's see. Roman, dude, the Royval Vann pace was, I mean, I almost thought in the middle of the second round, I was like, is one of these guys going to fade? Like, I kind of thought that they both were going to keep going, but I was like, on that short turnaround, I mean, Vann fought, I didn't even mention this. Josh Vann fought like a month ago. Has it even been a month? It's like a month and a half, a month ago. The dude fought like a month ago. I think he absorbed 76 strikes in that last fight, because I made a video kind of talking about it. And he comes out and he has an absolute war. I don't think he ever really got rocked either. The guy has an iron chin and is a warrior, man. Is a warrior. What a fun fight. Let's see. The following maybe Robot. It jumped a ton last week, like one day. Following maybe Robot. Oh, are you talking about of y'all's show? I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Matt. Let's see. Tim Ortega was like him. Okay, interesting story. I mean, we never know how this is gonna play out, right? Like, there is a alternative timeline. There is a thread in the universe where Josh Vann, and I hate to say this, right? I hate to say this, but there is a multiverse where Josh Vann gets the fight against Pantoja. Pantoja beats him, and he loses every single other fight. Like, we cannot crown these guys too soon. It is a fist fight. Anything can happen. There's so many different variables. There's injuries. We saw Hermanson get absolutely blasted last night. Like, that's obviously a possibility. You can get hit with one punch. You can get hammer-fisted while you're already KO'd, and that could change your brain for the rest of your life. It is that crazy. Let's see. Well, we'll go back to the chat, and then we'll kind of move on to some other rookies and other pricing. Let's see. Jamba J, what's up, dude? If he gets dominated, the price will drop for sure. For sure. Man, I love these rookies and I hate these rookies for the simple reason of waiting is always the right move. Wait till they lose. Wait till they retire. Wait till they prove themselves that they are an all-time great. And then there's no risk, right? If like Ilia Topuria, if you buy in right now, oh, this guy is 2 weight class champ, has a ton of accolades, already a ton of title fights. He is cemented in all time in his pricing. But yeah, man, I mean, I understand. You want to get in early. We got a ton of comments. Thank you guys for commenting. I see people talking to each other. That's awesome. We're going to get into a lot of stuff that y'all are saying in the chat. Let me get back to some pricing information, and then we'll get back to the chat. So let's go screen share. We're going to get off Vann, and we're going to talk about my man, Payton Talbott. Let's talk about the fight analysis a little bit, and then we'll get into some of his pricing. Okay, so we know the big knock on Talbott after fighting his last fight was like, is he going to be able to improve his wrestling? Is he going to be able to improve his grappling? Is he not going to allow people to control him in the fight? Can he get up when he gets taken down? The classic like striker, can he improve and round out his game and become a good grappler? But that was super fun to watch, man. And I think the answer is obviously yes. He improved a ton. Felipe Lima and Talbott, the transitions were very entertaining in my opinion. I love wrestling scrambles. There's something wild about it. I love the fluidity and just the like. It's really a flow state whenever people are into that type of movement, and you really just, it's a natural instinct almost. And it was beautiful. They both had some really super entertaining scrambles, so I was really happy to see that. And then in between that, they were exchanging in the pocket, man. I mean, Lima was hitting him a lot, and we're going to talk about this, that Talbott needs to improve his defensive head movement. He needs to improve his defense a little bit. He needs to improve his elusiveness a little bit, and maybe even his footwork. But I say all that, he is a counter striker, right? So as a counter striker, you want to be very close to be getting hit because you have to return a shot. And if you want to return a shot, you can't be too far away because then you can't hit him, right? So it's really a really close, razor sharp margin that he's going to be on the edge of getting hit and not getting hit and being able to deliver power shots to his opponent. So I think he does need to kind of tighten up his overall defensiveness and like some of his head movement, some of his footwork. But I was pretty happy with the performance, man. I mean, he landed some really good shots. He also ate some really good shots, man. Like that's I kind of want to see that with some of these younger guys. Like, can you be the nail? Can you eat some really hard shots, not get discouraged, not get rocked? He took it like a champ, was still in the pocket, still fighting his fight. So overall, I was very impressed with Talbott and happy with his performance. And again, this guy's only 26 too. We have Josh Vann and Payton Talbott, both super, super young guys. And we know the prime in MMA is 27, to like 31. Statistically, that's usually when these guys become UFC champions, is like somewhere 27. In some of the bigger weight classes, that age kind of goes up. But he is about to enter into his prime. He still has time to grow. And of course, Josh Vann does as well. So some really, really fun UFC card rookies in 2025. And let's look at some of Talbott's pricing. And he is surging as well, man. We got a true rookie of 5 for 255, 3 days left. I mean, this has to go. What do y'all think this is going to go for? Like 500 plus? This has got to go for like 500 plus, I would imagine. We got the Radiating Rookies. No sales yet on that. But look, first auto of 99. Good looking card too, man. Good looking card right there of 147. 147 bucks, dude. On card auto. Talbott rookie of 99. He's going to have some monster sales. We got the green of 99. Not too far behind there. And just a ton of autos, all of above 50, right? So some solid pricing as well for Talbott, who's a guy who's not even ranked yet. Let's not forget that. Talbott is not even ranked yet, and he's already selling multiple cards over 75. These are all probably going to go 100 plus, right? All these that are already in the 90. And we got a bunch of other ones here. Base auto 26, Radiating Rookies are going to hit the market. So pretty interesting times, man. Pretty interesting times. Let's get back to the chat before we move on and talk about some other stuff here. Only one judge had 30-27. Yep, I think you're talking about Royval and Vann. Ooh, that's a good question. Dog with hat. What's up, dude? Do you think they will make Pantoja versus Merab? That is an interesting decision. I don't think that Pantoja wants to move up yet. If I was kind of getting, the vibe from him, I think he's a guy that is very happy at the weight class that he's at. And he looked in really good shape this fight too. He looked a little more, I don't know if it was cut or if he just put some mass on, but he looked really good. So I think he's kind of a guy that doesn't necessarily want to move up, especially if he's continuing to rack up wins and continuing to get that pay-per-view money, man. Now, we're going to talk about Pantoja and like legacy later in the episode, and I'm excited to talk about that also because he is starting to really put a stamp on this division and cement himself as, like a really, really all-time guy. Let's see. We'll go back to the chat. Glenn Abalos, Benil bounced back. He did, man. He did. He looked pretty tough. He did get rocked. Glenn, Benil got absolutely rocked, dude. And I almost thought Money Moicano was gonna get that money, dude. I thought Moicano was gonna get that money and finish him because it was close. It was close. I thought it was close. If you're watching out there, hit that like button. We're trying to get to 21. We're at 16. We're close, man. We're close. So I appreciate y'all for watching today. Let's see. Got some people out there talking about hitting some cards, which we're going to talk. Man, we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot to talk about. What up, Manny? Ilia is a monster. Pantoja is near Mighty Mouse greatness. We're going to talk about that. What fight between Royval, Vann? Sell Vann cards now. Pantoja the cannibal. Yeah, dude. I mean, that is a great encapsulation of last night's fight night. There was so much that was going on. There is so much to talk about. It was really an exciting fight night, in my opinion. We had a lot of finishes. We had a lot of storylines develop. We had some rookies in the mix, some young guys, some prospects. We had some new stars be born. We had, Ilia Topuria continue to build upon his empire and his throne of blood and bones. He sits atop the mounds of his enemies, and he's short, so he needs more enemies to sit on. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing it, dude. He's doing it. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna do one more comment, and then we got to get back to this because we got a ton of stuff to cover today. Let's see. Let's see, Josh. Finding Topuria autos is truly a search upon a search. Sometimes you see this with these guys, right? Whenever these guys have these huge wins, they're surging, they get a win, like people want to hold on to their cards, and which is interesting because also you have the opposite where sometimes when people get big wins, people try and dump them. Interesting kind of thought process to think through there. What would make you want to hold on to a guy, a very valuable card that you just saw win, versus a guy that won and then you want to sell him? Is it because you don't believe in his skill? Is it the potential for future growth in the sport? Kind of an interesting thing to think about there. And we still got, I was going to look at like Prates and RDR comps and kind of talk about some of the other rookies, but I feel like we got so much to talk about today. We're just going to go ahead and completely push that off to the side. And we're going to talk about what are some of y'all's thoughts on the Topps Chrome product. We have 2025 Topps Chrome that just came out. Obviously, it's getting broke a ton. There's a ton of inventory online. What are your thoughts on the product so far? Any quality issues that you've ripped or that you've seen from your rips? Because I know that was prevalent in a lot of these boxes. And what cards are you hunting? We have a lot of different insert designs in this. What parallels do you think look good? Y'all let me know in the comments. I'm very curious on y'all's thoughts with the 25 Chrome product. I've been seeing kind of a mixed bag of reviews, right? I've seen the classic Panini is the best, Topps sucks, which I will never understand having that logic when it comes to all of these designs and trading cards. But I'm seeing that some, and I'm also seeing some good comments, some good sentiments, where people are excited about what's happening. The Radiating Rookies, the good rookie class, some of the inserts, the Titans, hidden gems, all of the gambit of the different cards. So what are you guys thinking about 2025 Topps Chrome? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna check over back there. But first, my experience with the box. As you guys probably know, if you don't know, go check it out. I opened a 2025 Topps Chrome hobby box. Also, if you've opened a box, let me know. Do you think you got your value back from that? Because that's kind of something that's always in my mind. But it's release day, right? I'm going to open my box, and I'm waiting for hours for my box to get there. I was basically waiting from like 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., just pacing back and forth. Like, I want to open this box. When is it coming? Is the UPS guy, he missed the house? Like, what happened? Just constant overthinking, right? Because I am a child and I wanted to see what was in that box, right? And next time I may just pay for faster shipping. I may pay for faster shipping, pay the extra $10 and get that box delivered a little bit earlier, because that was very annoying and I had to stay up way too late editing that video too, which I don't like to do. I like my sleep. Sleep is important. It's important for everybody. And I didn't get it because I was editing because that Topps Chrome came so late. But it came in. I was super excited. I was hoping I could get at least one like case hit insert or a nice auto, something to really like redeem the box. And if you saw that video, it was pretty rough, dude. It was pretty rough. I think the value ticker that I've been doing ended up being negative 165 or something like that. So it was a bad rip as far as, value return. It was a really tough rip. I did hit a Drickus Duplessis Mark of Greatness auto, which I was able to sell for like $30, and that sold very quick. And I hit a Silver Topuria, which actually sold last night. So I'm nickel and diming my value back from that box. But I also got that box for $270. I think if you can get that box for $189, $199 is going to be a solid rip and be able to give you some decent value in return. But that $270 price is very, very risky, man. I've seen a lot of boxes that are, duds or close to duds, and you cannot have a dud when you're talking about a $270 price tag. So shout out to DGen Rips, RV and Knack. Roman had a good box. Albino Manatee had a pretty awesome box. I feel like Matt had a better box than me, but it wasn't like an amazing box either. So shout out to all those guys that did videos on that. Go check them out as well. Let's get back to the chat before we move on again. Let's see what we got. What do we got? Got a lot of people. Vince, what up, dude? What is up? Box Alarm Trading. What up, man? Happy to see you again. Always happy when you're in the house, when you're in the chat. Let's see. 5 McCory. What's up, dude? Haven't seen you in a while either. Thank you for your support. Thank you, everybody, for the support, for the likes, for the comments, for the shares. If you didn't know, you can also help support the channel by joining the Bat Crew. That's a thing. I'm trying to deliver some value with that. We got custom emojis that you can use in the live chat, that you can use in comments. I have like a private Discord where we talk, fight night. We're chatting about the fight. We talk about cards, strategy, stuff like that, as well as you get early access to videos and what else do y'all get? There's a bunch of stuff. You go watch the video where I explain it. It's a long video. There's too much stuff to talk about, but let's see. Oh my. Okay, Vince hit the 101 Payton Talbott. Vince, in the chat, what are you going to do with that card? He just had a big win. Do you cash in now? Are you holding long term? Are you going to grade? Like that is a serious business decision that you need to start thinking about, man, because please, let me hit a 101 of a big rookie one day. That will be such a fun dilemma. That's rich people. Vince, you got rich people problems, dude. You got to figure out what to do. Are you going to offload that? That is awesome. Congratulations. Let's see. Topuria autos were redemption. Probably harder to come by. Okay. Are you talking about the 2025 Chrome? Also his first auto was in Topps Royalty, right? And I believe that was a redemption too. So you guys might be talking about that, but that is a good point. And we were talking about the Topps Royalty. I think it was me and Damien maybe like 3 episodes ago. We had a topic where it was like, long term, is Topps Royalty going to hold? Is the box price going to hold? Because we know it's at, I haven't checked in a few weeks, but I want to say it's still between that 750 to 900 mark, selling in there. Very high. And my point of view was kind of like, we have an Ilia Topuria auto in this product. If he can continue on this trajectory, and obviously it's an if, we don't know. At that time, we had no idea if he was going to win this fight. We had no idea what's going to happen in the future, obviously. If he can continue on a trajectory like this, that price is going to go up. And I am almost positive and certain of that. If Ilia Topuria has another title defense, 2 title defenses, if he tries to go to 170, that price is going to say his legacy is going to be cemented, and that price is going to be solid right around that, or even up higher. I would guess up higher, because people are going to be chasing after that 2024 Royalty Ilia Topuria first auto. I mean, we've seen it for 2020 or 2014. We have the Nunez knockout and Habib first auto. Like those, when those kind of cards are in products, that is going to stabilize that box price, in my opinion. So that'll definitely be an interesting thing to think about and to see in the future. Johnny, what's up, dude? He's opening his 25 Chrome box tonight. Good luck, my man. Good luck. Hopefully you have a better box than me. I have seen some really good boxes out there. So fingers crossed for you to hit something crazy and hopefully get the cards that you want, man. Because it is always a crapshoot. We don't know what's going to happen. Roman subbed. The algo's hating on me, dude. Is that what you're trying to say? The algo's hating on me? Everybody out there right now, if you haven't liked that video, the algo is trying to hold me back, trying to hold me down. And I don't like that. And y'all can help me out by hitting the like button, sharing, all of the stuff. I appreciate everybody out there. Let's do a couple more comments and then we'll head back and kind of talk about some other topics before, because we're already at 30 minutes and this is awesome. Thank you guys so much for putting stuff in the comments. It makes this so much more fun when we can interact and kind of have a conversation. Let's see. Cody ripped a Merab 50 out of 50 bookend gold auto from a hobby last night. What is the Merab market going to do, man? We saw I made a video on it a few weeks ago. We saw a $16,000 101 Merab auto. And I was curious, whenever that happened, I was like, let me look at Merab's other sales. That is kind of an anomaly when it comes to his sales. It's kind of a one-off. Is that one sale going to lift all of Merab's other cards? Is that just going to be, a standout? And is that going to be almost statistically irrelevant with all of his other sales? Now, part of me thinks that that's not going to happen. Usually when we see these insane sales, it tends to lift all of them. But like, I saw some other big auto 101s, some 101s, from other sets. And now we know that the rookies are going to command the highest value, right? But like, if you are going to tell me that a 101 rookie sold for $16K, personally, I would think, the other 101s would be like a grand plus. That seems to be kind of what other people's markets are whenever we're talking about, big sales like that. But who knows, man? Who knows? But congratulations. That's a good hit. And happy to see some people getting some good cards out of 25 Chrome. All right. Biggie Mac, we can talk about it, man. You mentioned it. Few damage on cards. Seen it in break. Shocking from Topps quality control. And shout out to the 047 Sports Cards and TCG. Josh said that most likely what is happening, and I like this theory because to me it makes sense with a lot of the other things that we're seeing. So we're seeing a lot of like lipping on the edges of cards, right? And I've seen some people in some comments talking about, oh, this is why on-card autos aren't good. Like, I would rather just have stickers if the quality is going to be this bad. When it's this prevalent, I don't think it is an on-card issue. What Josh was saying, which I subscribe to me that makes the most sense when talking through an issue like this, is that it was probably a manufacturing issue. And I guess they've seen this in other products. And Josh was saying that it's probably a temperature issue when it comes to pressing. That is very scary because that means that it's a widespread issue and it's out there. Now, personally, I had 2 base cards that had some bad lipping, so I kind of got lucky in that sense. But like you're saying, man, it can be bad out there, and that's so sad, especially when you're talking about a $270 price tag. Like, that is not cheap, man. That's not cheap, especially let's say you got a box like me, like I did, and it's not a good box, and you have damaged product in there. Like, that would just be putting salt on my wound, man. So my heart goes out for everybody that's having troubles with their boxes. And also, like, how do we rectify this problem if you're Topps? They're going to be getting swamped with people sending cards back. That cannot happen again. Also, I'm scared it's going to happen in more products. We know that they've already printed a ton of products. We've seen leaks from Midnight. We've seen leaks from Topps Finest. We've seen leaks from Stadium Club. We've seen leaks from all of these different products. And if it's happened into Chrome already, I really hope it's not going to happen in these future products. Woo! I'm talking a lot, man. I'm working today, and I hope y'all are enjoying the video and the content. And thanks for being here and chatting with me. We're at 25 likes. You guys are the BMF. Thank you so much for liking and subbing, sharing, all that good stuff. All right. Let's see. I might get to like one more comment, and then we'll get back. Ton of comments, man. Thank you guys so much for coming in, talking, having fun. Yankster stunned on us. I got the best hobby box out there. 101 RDR Superfractor, John Jones Berserker, Michael Morales Future Stars. That had some damage on it. If you're hitting a 101 rookie Superfractor, you may have had the best box out there, man. Maybe the only other box that would beat that is like a Talbott 101 or like a Vann 101. So congratulations on that, dude. You are absolutely killing it. And since you brought it up, I was going to cut it from the segment because you guys are hitting me with awesome questions and we're just having a conversation. But since you brought it up, let's talk about RDR. And I'm happy you brought that up. Thank you for commenting. We just saw an insane amount of sales and an insane price tag on a lot of these sales from guys in this rookie class. And this is a perfect masterclass or example, right? Let me refresh to make sure we're up to date on the best sales. That timing, the market, and hype is such a big part of this. Look at RDR of 25 geometric refractor for $51. How many other cards did we see from Talbott, who is not even ranked yet? To be fair, not even ranked. Now I understand he's young. The speculation's there. RDR is like set. If he beats Whitaker, I could see him like vying for a title shot and really throwing his hat in the title shot contention. And he's selling for $51. First auto for $35. You know. And just really, really, really low on the eBay listings. And now, granted, the product's been out for like 2 days, right? The product's been out for like 2 days. So we have no idea if a lot of these are even hitting the market. Maybe they're still stuck in boxes. But like the discrepancy between fighters that are rookies and the speculation side and the hype side versus, logically RDR is in a much better spot to potentially get a title shot. Now he is older, so there's less speculation, less hype, but I thought that was a very, very interesting dynamic and a very interesting comparison between younger guys and, a more established vet who may be in a better position. So the speculation game is always so funny to me. It's so fun to look at and it's so fun to think about. So thanks for bringing that up, man. That was a fun little tangent and talking point. All right. Let's see. What else? I was going to talk about, let's talk about some more pricing if you guys are cool with that. I do want to talk about some pricing here in Topps Chrome. I really like to check out the market and kind of see what things are doing. And I thought that this was an interesting sale. It is a of 50 gold on-card auto, John Bones Jones, $600. What does this tell us, man? There's a lot of people out there that kind of thought like John doing this Aspinall thing is going to just tank his legacy. Nobody's going to like him. I kind of had the opposite point of view, or not opposite, but kind of more of a middling point of view against that, where it was like John Jones's legacy is cemented so much. Now, granted, there are going to be people who are very off put by this that were maybe on the fence with John Jones, weren't huge fans, weren't really haters, but kind of in the middle, and they might have switched to haters. But I still think his market and his legacy and the amount of people that are going to want and are going to be buying his cards is still going to be very, very healthy. I mean, he's one of the best selling guys that we have in the sport. This Aspinall thing, while it is a detriment to some of his sales, some of his market, I do not think this is going to put him in the trash whatsoever. And we have Ilia Topuria. This is a big sale, man. This is a big sale because this is a of 99 selling for $600. And it is a beautiful card, though. I really like these Mark of Champion cards. Again, I pulled a Dricus Duplessis on my box video that I did the other day, and they are a good design. Now, the parallel I had was a base, so it's not even close to as beautiful as this card, but I like the black and gray. I like the color of the parallel really shines through, and the gold little like fluid. Basically, we're in space. It's like midnight. We're in space again in zero gravity. We're trying to drink some water with this fluid right here, and it looks pretty good, man. It looks pretty good. So some really big cards. We have more Ilia. I'm imagining we're going to see some huge Ilia cards just with the timing of his win and the timing of this product release within the next few weeks. Hidden Gems, another beautiful card. I really like that design. 500. Since we're talking about Hidden Gems, before I come back to the chat, I'm coming back to y'all. So this was not included in the Topps odds sheet. I don't like that, Topps. I need this data because I don't want to be how it was with Panini, where we're guessing how rare these cards are. I hated that so much. It was all speculation. Topps giving us this odds sheet is letting us determine the supply and letting us determine the rarity of these cards so that we can better price things out, so that we can better comp things when we're selling, when we're buying. And that is super valuable to me and very important. I think should be very important to every collector out there. We should demand that they give us this information. We're flying blind if they don't give us this information. And to me, that is crazy to be spending that, that kind of money and not know how rare these cards are. Now, we do know how rare they were last year. I did the odds video. I did all the breakdown. Basically, every insert is extremely close to how rare it was last year. Like within margin of error, like 5 to 10%. So I think it is safe to assume that this Hidden Gems is probably around the same rarity as last year. And again, anybody who's out there doing breaks or watching breaks and participating in breaks, please chime in on the conversation. How rare are these Hidden Gems? Last year, I believe it was around 19 cases to hit one of these. Have they been that rare in y'all's experience watching these? What are y'all thoughts on that? All right, let's get back to the chat. And I'm getting a drink of water because your boy is working, dude. Your boy is working right now talking. All right, let's see what the chat's saying. Let's get back to y'all. Thank you for liking, man. We're at 27 already. This is awesome. Oh, talking about Hidden Gems. Cousin hit Hidden Gems Islam. Pretty sick, man. Pretty sick there. Colin Sprague. What up, Playboy? Thanks for coming in, dude. I don't recognize that name, so thank you for coming in, man. We're talking about UFC cards. We're talking about UFC 317. We're talking about pricing with 2025 Topps Chrome. Ooh, good. Tim with another solid talking point. Kamzat in 2021 on fire. Then he had to wait 4 years for a title shot. Very, very true. Like I'm going to parallel this to Josh Vann just because I think we're going to see some Hamzat level sales with Josh Vann this year. People are so excited. His fight style is so fun. He also seems like a level-headed, like, not like, I don't know if he's intelligent or not, but like he can read the room. He seems like smart in the aspect of, you know, he on the mic he was like, "Hey, I'm in the crowd, put me in the cage." Like he seems opportunistic and smart and business savvy in a way that I think people are going to appreciate. And I think he's just going to appeal well to fans. He seems like a cool guy. So I think we may see some Josh Vann type sales that we saw like with Hamza in 2021. And a good point, Hamza in 2021, hobby darling, you know, $30,000 sales. He had to, you know, he had sales that weren't recorded that Joe from Joe's Cart Stash were saying were like in crazy numbers in 2021. Those boxes were $1,000. Then he has to wait 4 years to get a title shot. We know he's getting a title shot against DDP, but I mean that is the road. That is the road sometimes with these guys. It's so unpredictable, and to buy into rookies is always a risk. Again, in the multiverse, in the crystal ball, there is a strand. If you guys watched Loki, in what do they call it? The timekeepers or whatever. There is a strand of time where Josh Vann loses to Pantoja and, you know, loses the rest of his fights. I don't hope that happened, but like that is in the realm of possibility, and his cards could absolutely tank. So we always need to keep that in mind, even when we're talking about a guy that is red hot like Joshua Vann. All right, let's see. Let's get back to some comments here. Ooh, I like this. Colin, what are we thinking about Titans? Everyone seems to be getting them, myself included. Okay, this is cool. I like this question because if you guys watched one of my videos, I was talking about with the odds and the inserts, which I think you guys should watch, man. Those are very important in my opinion, to be educated on the topic and to just kind of start speculating before the product comes out. What are the rarity and what is the supply going to be like on these cards? Okay, so with this Titans, right, it is a case hit in the hobby. It is a case hit in the mega, and it is a multiple, I think 4 case hit in the blaster box. What that tells me is there's going to be a lot of these in circulation. Now, while I think it should go for a good price, I think it's a really good image, very fun. To me, this is what Panini should have did for Downtowns, right? Like, this is a good Photoshop job, a good design, in my opinion. Done pretty well. The parallels are going to shine through good. But I think the supply is going to be pretty high on these. And I also think that we should be careful whenever we're talking about the pricing that these are going for. So let's look one up. I didn't do that, but I like this question. So let's check this out. We're going to see what these Titans are going for, and if we think that's a good move, if we think that's a bad move. Oh, we got the rookie Talbott going for 300. Okay. We got Alex Pereira going for 200. Obviously, 200. Ilia, 200. McGregor. So, okay, so they're all going, it seems to be 125 to 300 for a rookie. Interesting. And then we're talking about a case hit here, guys. We're talking about a case hit. So let's try and compare. Let's try and compare case hits. We could do last year. What was a single case hit? I'm on the spot, so this is tough to try and think like this. Let's see. All the Glory was a case hit in the blaster boxes, which in theory should have a smaller supply than the Titans. Should have a smaller supply of all the Glories than the Titans, in my opinion. Let's see what these are going for. These are going for about the same, right? About the same. Okay, so I'm gonna say we're somewhat near the price range that we should be, in that 120. I'd probably want to stay in the 100 to 150 range, if I'm being honest. I'm being conservative because I do think when the megas, when the blasters come out, we're gonna start seeing a lot of these hit, and maybe the supply could be a little bit bigger than we think it is. Now, that's all speculation, right? But I think that's kind of what we have to do whenever these new products come out. We don't know what's going to happen, and we don't necessarily know exactly how much they made of these, based on the print run of these inserts and these case hits. Thank you guys for watching. 30 likes, man. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, hit that like button. We're going to do a couple more questions, and then we will move on into some other topics. You doing blasters and megas? Of course I'm doing blasters and megas, Roman. I got those ordered. I don't know when they're going to come in. I saw that some people already have blasters in hand and are ripping them. How is that possible? To me, it said July 17th, I think, online is what I saw. So I don't know how these people are getting these like boxes already. It's pretty insane if you ask me. I want to figure out what they're doing because I want my boxes early, right? But they already got the boxes. So pretty interesting. I will be doing a mega for the channel. I will be doing a blaster box for the channel. I am excited to see those. Again, we have different inserts in the blaster box, and we have different parallels in the mega box. So something to think about, something to look at whenever those come out. You might see a design that you like, and we also have some different parallels that maybe will catch your eye. All right, one more. Oh, Vince, bad movie on DVD, Photoshop job. Get out of here, Vince. That is a decent Photoshop job. Now, it's all subjective, right? Everything is subjective. As I yank on my microphone, all right, it's still in. Vince getting me fired up on breaking the equipment. It's all subjective. Bad Photoshop DVD. Whenever I'm talking about a Photoshop, right, it's not necessarily the design. It's not the layout. It's the actual quality of the images behind the fighter. Is there depth? Is the color good? Is it sharp? And in the Titans, all of that, in my opinion, is a factual yes. Now, if you don't like the layout, if you don't like the design, I totally understand. Me and Vince with a little agree or disagree on the live chat. Let's see. One more, and then we're going to move on, guys. Let's see. We got a PSA grading these cards. I think we are not going to see high PSA 10 rate. I think this set is going to be tough with all the QC issues. Very good point, Josh. Very good point. And this is something where, like, I know some people don't necessarily agree. It's kind of a differing topic. I think pop report matters whenever you're talking about differentiating cards. And this is definitely going to be one where I agree. We've seen a lot of lipping. We've seen a lot of surface issues, especially on these autos. They are on-card autos, right? So we know that they're not going to grade as well as the stickers. Now, personally, I like on-card autos. I think it's more fun. I think it's a better story. I think it looks better visually. So I will take the little bit of surface damage that is going to come with fighters handling hundreds of cards at one time over a sticker auto that to me doesn't look as good, as a little bit removed from the actual fighter. But that's just personal opinion. It's probably not going to gem. So definitely taking into condition, taking into pop reports long term is probably going to be a good play with 2025 Chrome. And I agree, man. It's going to be tough. Going to be tough for some of these grades for sure. All right. I still got a few things that I want to talk about. So I'm going to go back to the little chart here, the script, and then we will go back to the chat and we'll finish out there. All right. I want to talk about my man, Ilia Topuria. All right. I want to talk about Ilia Topuria and the fight that we saw last night. And I want to talk about this, and I'm curious to know y'all's reaction. This is before the fight. This is the night before the fight. He is partying. Ilia Topuria is partying like he won the fight before the fight even happens. And then what happens? What does Ilia do, man? What does he do? Let me fast forward so we don't have to wait so long. This is what he does.
Charles is absorbing these shots. Well, he's already busted up.
Boom! That's what he does. How insane is Ilia Topuria? And also, I think this is a lesson that we can all learn from, right? This is a lesson in sports psychology. It starts up here, right? It starts up here. And you need a certain level of delusion in order to achieve things that are hard to achieve. And Ilia Topuria obviously has that mindset and is practicing good sports psychology by visualizing and already living out the night before that he has won that fight. Is it crazy? Yes. Would I be brave enough to do that? Hell no, I wouldn't be brave enough to do that. But that's the difference between me and a two-time UFC champion that called his shot, knockout in round one. Ilia Topuria is that dude. And it was very, very entertaining fight, man. Also, can we talk about Charles's game plan? I was going for Charles. I was going for Charlie Olives. I was going for Du Bronx. I wanted to see him get another title victory and maybe do something cool before he goes out because he is kind of aging up there. And this guy comes out, starts the fight perfectly, in my opinion. Leg kick, long range weapon. Oh, front kick up the middle. Oh, you got to watch out, short guy. You're gonna be using the boxing head movement. Got to watch out. I'm throwing front kicks up the middle. Can't be ducking that head too low. Another low kick. I'm like, dude, Charles is looking good. This is the game plan we want. He's longer. He's bigger. Use that length. Use the long range weapons. Don't get inside on Topuria. He is the best boxer in the UFC. Very compact, very good head movement, loves to throw power in the pocket. Charles gets him up against the cage. I'm like, nice. Charles looks stronger. He's bigger. Has a kind of a weird takedown. Ilia ends up on top. No big deal. Charles is super aggressive. Goes for a leg lock. Perfect. Charles gets up. Then Charles is throwing reckless. I'm like, Charles, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing right now? Don't get in the pocket with Ilia Topuria. He is a master at this range. He is a master at this style of fighting. He is the best boxer in the UFC. Stick to your game plan. Now, and this is the issue with Olives, right? And it's to his benefit and his detriment. It's why we love him, and it's why he's had kind of, you know, a wonky career in a sense. He is very reckless, man. He throws caution to the wind and he just goes for it, which is very exciting, but it's very dangerous, and we saw that play out. He's exchanging in the pocket. He's the longer guy, right? So when you're the longer guy and you're in tight, your arms are just longer. You can't generate as much power when you're that close. He gets in the pocket with Topuria, steps in too close, and he absolutely lights him up, man. So I was honestly sad that Charles didn't necessarily. I wanted a better fight, I guess. I liked the finish because it's a good storyline. It's a definitive victory. Good for the sport. Good for Ilia. But I did want a little bit of a better fight. I wanted to see more from Ilia at this weight class. And in my opinion, Charles did not fight his best at all. And I think it was kind of a mental breakdown in a sense, and that he didn't necessarily follow a great game plan. But dude, what is next for Ilia Topuria? How good can this guy be? We saw that Patty came in the cage, right? Which I was like, yes, good storyline, fun fight. Patty's coming off an incredible performance against Chandler. You know, that'll be a fun fight. I think people would like that. And then we have Dana White coming out and saying like, nope, I didn't tell him to do that. That's not the direction we're going. Dana White is always trying to kill the fun. He is always trying to kill the storyline. This guy, I hate to say it, I think he's been a problem for the UFC in the past couple of years. All right, so we're going to go back to the chat, see what you guys have to say about that, see if we can get caught up. See if we can get caught up here. What's up, dude? What's up, Jaden? What's up, man? Thanks for coming out today. Appreciate you, dude. We got Dana White boy talking smack about Topps Chrome. I don't like the design of this year's Topps Chrome. Fair, man. Fair. Everybody's got an opinion. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. Let's see. Got a lot of product talk. I'm so behind. Let's see. I'm good, man. How are you been doing? Any single fighter breaks? What fighters? I do not participate in breaks. Maury Lowe. Thanks for coming in and commenting, dude. I participated in one break in the whole time that I've been collecting, and I think I spent $50 or like $25 on one pack, and I got an of $2.99 Jared Cannonier, and I have not bought into another break after that. Too risky for me. Now, buying boxes is risky, but at least I get a lot of cards. I get the fun experience of ripping these. I get the fun experience of making a video out of it because I love doing this stuff. It's a hobby of mine as well as collecting. So I get a lot of enjoyment from the boxes. I get none of that enjoyment whenever I'm doing breaks. Personally, I know some people really like that. I don't really like that, so I don't do breaks ever. But no shame to you if you do. Everybody's different. Let's see. Jace the Ace 412. What's up, dude? I was on eBay last night. Vann cards selling like hotcakes. If they were, buy it now. Yes. Well, I mean, we looked at Josh Vann's sales earlier, and he has a ton of sales already above $100. His highest sales of 5 at $9.99. I posed that to the chat. Is $9.99 a good buy for a first rookie true auto of 5 of Josh Vann? I think that might be a good buy. Now, I'm not a huge speculator, a huge risk taker when it comes to these cards, but that price tag is pretty good, man. That price tag is pretty good. He's 23, so he's got a ton of time to improve. Let's see. Broccoli Breaks. What's up, dude? Thank you for the comment. You have helped me as a breaker do the homework to be ready for cracking my case. I love this comment. That's one of... Okay, so when I started this channel, one thing that I noticed online that I really did not like and I wanted more of was like people explaining products, people talking about what is in the box. That is really kind of what I'm most interested in, doing research. Like what can you even get in this? What is going to be a good pull? What could potentially recoup value over time? And thank you for everybody that are watching those educational videos, because those I don't know. It's kind of nerdy, but like I kind of like doing that stuff. It makes me very prepared whenever I open my box. And to me, that's kind of fun to know exactly what I think is a good card and what isn't a good card. And that's not based on guesswork. That's based on looking at the odds and looking at the checklist. So thank you, man, for watching those videos. Let's see. What do we got? Ooh, it's a good question. I like this, Cody. Does Charles stock go down after losing to Topuria? That interesting question. To me, no. In my opinion, no. Charles already, again, anytime I talk about olives, I talk about this talking point. He has had such a wonky career, man. Like, he has I think the most submission wins in the UFC. He also has like 10 plus losses in the UFC. So the dude's career is so wonky. I mean, he went on a tear where I think it was a 4 title win streak, 3 defenses and a title win. And then he loses to Islam, then he kind of is fighting some guys. Now he's back in with Topuria. In my opinion, he is one of the fan favorite guys, but he also has some accolades behind his name. So to me, he's kind of etched into stone. And we have to think about who he's losing to, right? He's not losing to some random guy. He's not losing to a one-time champ. He's losing to a guy that knocked out Max Holloway, a guy that knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, and a guy that just moved up from 145 to 155. So, like, if you're going to lose to a guy, you want to lose to a guy that is going to have a crazy legacy and that could, potentially be an all-time great in the future. In my opinion, a loss to Topuria does nothing to hurt Charles' legacy or his card pricing. Now, that's super subjective, right? You might have people that have a totally different take on that. But in my opinion, that's kind of where I would be on that. And a fun question and some, that you guys should think about. If you're a Charles collector, do you sell now or do you buy in? Yeah. Let's see. All right. We got so many comments. I love it, man. I love it. Let's see. Man, you guys are just going off in the comments, dude. I like it. Let's see. Nobody knows what's in the box. It's all speculation. That is true. You cannot get no cards when you buy a box. You can get 0 cards whenever you're breaking. There is guaranteed hits. The difference in buying a hobby box versus participating in a break is no matter what, you get 2025, using that as an example. No matter what, I buy a box, I get 2 autos, I get 4 numbered parallels, and I get 20 base card non-numbered refractors. Now, you spend $270 on breaks, you could get base cards. You could get 1 insert. You could get nothing in cases. Now, also the opposite is true for both. You could get tons of cards. You could get the biggest hits. I think the only pro for breaking in the argument or the logic in the thinking of buying into that is you get exactly what you paid for. I paid for an Islam spot in a specific fight. I am going to get Islam card. I think there is some value in that, but with the risk being so much higher than a box, because when I buy a box, I do get guaranteed hits. When you buy into a break, there are no guarantees. So I think you may have to be a little bit like more cautious with what you're spending. But again, it's all, it's all about risk, strategy. It is speculation at the end of the day, but in my opinion, buying a box, the floor is a little bit safer because you are always going to get the guaranteed hits if they're in that product. All right, let's get back. Thank you guys so much, man. Let's get back to some of this talk. And I wanted to talk about a guy that is really surging right now and is having a really good career. And let's talk about Alexandre Pantoja. And again, let's talk about his cars selling for absolutely nothing, dude. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So funny to me, man. We're going Alexandre Pantoja. Is this? There's no way this is the biggest card he has, right? Am I spelling this wrong, guys? Alexandre Pantoja. There's no way the most expensive card sale he has is $150. Is that true? Is that true? Also, while we're talking about this card, this parallel right here is not his true rookie card. This was after the release of this knockout. This is Alexandre Pantoja's true rookie card. The knockout was released before this card. I think that's important. And shout out to Henry at MMA Rookies. Y'all should be using MMA Rookies and Henry's website to help you with your collecting. It tells you exactly what when the checklists were released, so you can go back and see what is the true first auto. And he already did that for you in the website. He tells you what the true first auto is. He tells you what the true rookie is. He tells you what the first on-card auto is. So shout out to Henry. Very helpful. But there's no way these are Pantoja's biggest sales. Let me see if I'm spelling his name right, because I might have spelled it wrong. Y'all, forgive me for this, but that is not making sense. Alexandre Pantoja. Dude, this is okay. Let me take rookie off and see what kind of. Okay, this is a little bit better, but still insane. Still insane. You're getting 101s for 668 of a guy that's had like 4 or 5 title defenses, or 4 title defenses, I think. 101 right here for 5 hundo. And then I guess that is, dude. That was the highest rookie card sale that he's had, which is insane, man. You would think the rookies would command a little bit more respect on the secondary market. But again, I know that some of those cards are not the best. People don't like some of those knockout cards, the 2020 knockout. But dude, that is pretty insane that he's going for that cheap. And I kind of wanted to talk about, like, at what point do we have to put some respect on Pantoja's name? At what point are we going to have the conversation that Alexandre Pantoja is getting close to becoming the best flyweight of all time? Now, don't yell at the screen, right? Right now, I think DJ still has a wide margin on Pantoja, but if he keeps looking like this, in the next 2 years, if he keeps winning twice a year, I think that gap is going to continue to shrink down. And if he keeps stacking up title defenses, I don't think he has to match DJ's number also. Now, in my opinion, the biggest con on DJ's legacy is the strength of schedule. Back then, the UFC and that division was so small. I mean, it's not a knock against DJ. He can't, help who he's fighting against. But I do think that with his strength of schedule, a guy like Alexandre Pantoja, who has, a lot of people that are more talented in the weight class now because the sport is bigger and there's just more participants and there's more people in the organization, I don't think he would have to exactly match DJ's number in order to be in that conversation. Now, I do think, again, he has a ways to go. I mean, we're talking 4 or 5 more title wins, in my opinion, or Pantoja moves up and tries to do something at bantamweight. Maybe he wins, a really close contender fight, or wins a title in bantamweight. Then maybe we're talking about he's moving ahead, of DJ in that weight class. But I think there's still a pretty good margin in between them. But Pantoja is absolutely streaking, and based upon those sales that I just showed, I do think he's a little underpriced. I actually had an Alexandre Pantoja knockout card. It was a of 75 blue that I had up on eBay. And during the fight, I was like, man, I don't even think I've sold that card. So I looked, it was up for like $45. It had no love. I pulled it. I said, man, if he wins this fight, I'm probably just going to maybe grade it, send it off to grade, look at it. If it's good enough, I'm going to grade it. And I'll just wait to see what happens with him long term, because people are not showing him any love. And he's getting finishes. He's having entertaining, fun fights. So it's just surprising to me that people are not respecting Pantoja enough. Both kind of in the hype sense. I mean, his English is kind of broken, so it's kind of hard to market him. But also in the card space. He does not sell very often, and he doesn't sell for that much. So definitely something to look into. If you're a Pantoja fan, you could probably get some really good cards for relatively cheap. All right, let's get back to the chat. Let me get a drink of water. Your boy's been talking for an hour, dude. This is tough. Let's see. Okay, Mighty Mouse got the same treatment, talking about the not loving Pantoja as much, not cards selling for as much. That's a good point, Tim. That's a good point. Is that because of the weight class? Is it because these guys are so small? Like, what is it about that? Because it does seem to be universal. I mean, you're not wrong. Like the guys in the smaller weight classes, I mean, we're kind of seeing that change a little bit in bantamweight now. Seems like we're getting a lot more love than we did back in the day. But yeah, the flyweight class, man, just not a lot of love there. Is it because the guys are smaller? I'm kind of curious as to why that is. Let's see. Josh Vann getting fast tracked 100%, but I can't blame him on that. To me, this is not like an O'Malley fast track. This is not like, they kind of fast tracked Bo Nickel, not necessarily in terms of opponent or rankings, but in like putting him on main cards. Josh Vann is finishing guys, and he deserves to be there. Obviously, after that insane fight with Royval, you put on a fight like that, you basically stamp it with that knockdown at the end. You deserve to be there, and the fast track is the right move. He stepped in on short notice also. Let's not forget that. The dude deserves to be there. So while yes, he is getting fast tracked, that's the right move for him, and that's the right move for the UFC. So I definitely give them props for that. Dana Whiteboy, how many people bought Josh Vann over Pantoja last night, even when Pantoja is going to take him down and win? Like, yes, I mean, that is a very likely scenario, and we always have to take that into account whenever we're pricing these rookies. that's another thing when I first came into collecting, 2021, 2020 was like, wait, you're telling me I can get a Habib card for like the same price or cheaper than this rookie that has never really achieved anything? And that is always something that I think we should think about, man. Josh Vann, incredible prospect. Guy's a problem. He could be, the Ilia Topuria of this flyweight division. We could see a run like that where he's just starching guys left and right and then moves up and tries to do something, at bantamweight. But we could also see him get taken down immediately and basically Kaikara fight with Pantoja happens with Pantoja against Josh Vann. Like that is, to me, as likely a scenario as the first one, if not more likely. So definitely be cautious whenever you're buying into rookies. But again, it's all up to, I mean, we're all doing this for fun, right? Hopefully you're not spending too much money out of your means. This is all just entertainment at the end of the day, buying these cards, selling these cards, whatever. So just have fun. But remember, anything can happen with these rookies. And while Josh Vann has proved that he deserves to be here, he has not won a title yet. So I would just be a little bit cautious, man. A little bit cautious. What up, dude? MMA Cardboard. What's up, guy? Hand waving. What's up, man? Thanks for coming out today. And shout out to Lewis MMA Cardboard. He is a Bat Crew member. I appreciate you, brother. If you guys are not Bat Crew members, I would encourage you to go check that out. It does very much help the channel. Helps me stay motivated. It also helps me tell my wife, hey, I had another guy join today. Like I know I'm spending a lot of time, but like this, I'm serious about this. I also want this to be like a business in the future. And really, I just want it to be a business so that I can be like, hey, I'm going to go spend time on this video. I know you want to watch this movie, but like, I got to get these videos out. And whenever you guys support the channel and do stuff like that, it very much helps in that sense that I can, spend time away from normal life, lock myself in this office and get to work researching and trying to put out vids for you guys. So thanks, Lewis, man. I appreciate you. And go watch the interview with me and MMA Cardboard also. The dude is a beast, ton of knowledge, been in the game a long time. And we need to pay attention to people like that who have been in the space, who know a lot of things, who have been around, been there, done that. And also people that are so knowledgeable about older cards, because the vintage market is heating up, man. And for the longest time, there was a few of us, me, Joe, and Damien were like, why do people not like vintage UFC? Like that is so healthy in other sports and other markets. And for us, it was, so small. And now we got people, Jack, shout out Jack. He's scalping these first autos, true rookies, 2009 Topps. I mean, there's a ton of value in those cards and they're just super cool. So again, shout out Lewis. Thanks for watching, brother. Let's see. Okay, Dana Whiteboy with another good point. Pantoja said in the presser he doesn't do social media. Dude, this is like I understand, right? I understand a guy who wants to preserve his peace of mind, who wants to just worry about what he loves, focus on his craft, which is fighting, which is getting better with your skills, sharpening your talents, working on your game. But at the same time, man, it's sad because like he's so good in the octagon. And if he was just, did a little bit more marketing, and I think he could just be even bigger of a star. But again, everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. And I think some people don't care about that. Pantoja could just be put my nose to the grindstone and get to work. And maybe he just wants to win fights and beat dudes up. And that's super cool too. But that is a good reason, man, why maybe his cards aren't selling for as much as they should or for as much as other champions sell. Agree. Everyone treating Pantoja like Mighty Mouse before. He didn't get all the credit until he left. Sad. Chris Dash, good point, dude. I guess we kind of, or personally, I have kind of revisionist history when it comes to DJ in that he's been so big on YouTube. If you guys, obviously, I love YouTube. I make videos. I watch YouTube all the time. He has gotten so big on YouTube that like it's kind of clouding my mind of what his UFC run was, where, Dana was going to shut the division down. Didn't really care about DJ at all. Didn't try to push him, even though he's one of the most talented martial artists in that division. And then he trades him away for Ben Askren. Also, shout out Ben Askren, man. He's having some serious health issues, so hopefully he can pull through that. But yeah, trades DJ for Ben Askren. DJ goes on a tear in ONE FC, wins a couple belts. Is an all-time great dude. But definitely an interesting phenomenon, and something that I think we should consider whenever we're talking about these guys. Are they undervalued? What is their legacy compared to what their cards are selling for? Just fun conversations. All right, let's see. Ooh, here's a good question from Josh over at 047 Sports Cars and TCG. Zach, what price point would you put on Vann's 101 Super? Dude, that's a hard question. That is a hard question. Let me go back to the screen share. Let's pull up his 101 auto real quick. Topps Chrome Joshua Vann. So he had a of 5 auto, and it sold for $500. Or no, it sold for $1,000 here. Let's pull it up. So what are we going to put on his 101 Superfractor? Now, again, I think that this card may have been like on the lower end of the buy. Like, I think that's a good buy for whoever did it. Of 5, true rookie, first auto of a guy that is going to be fighting in a title fight. What do we put on a 101 Superfractor auto? Normally, whenever I think about this, I usually, there's 5 copies of this red. Let's say each of the 5 copies sell for $1,000, $5,000. We put a little premium on the 101, maybe $6,000, $7,000. But I do think that this was a good buy. So I'm going to say that the Superfractor should even be more than that initial calculation. I think we could see Josh Vann. Also, we have to take into account sales from last year, right? We had a Diego Lopez Superfractor sell for $12K. Is Joshua Vann a better prospect than Diego Lopez was at that time of that sale? Hell yes. He's about to be Jeff Bezos. Hell yeah. He's about to be in a title fight. Diego Lopez was not about to be in a title fight whenever that card sold. So I think that we're looking at above $12K for the Joshua Vann 101 Superfractor. Really good question. Will that happen? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Only time will tell, right? But I do think that this sale was on the lower side of what it could be, was a good buy. I mean, obviously it's a good sale too. Guy got out. Josh Vann, it was the 28th. So who knows when this sold? This might have sold before the fight also. Could have sold after the fight. He's locking in his profit with $1,000 sale. So I cannot, fault you one bit, whoever sold this, for getting your money when you got it, because who knows what's going to happen. But definitely an interesting question, trying to value 101s. What do y'all think in the chat, man? How do you value 101s? What do you think a Josh Vann 101 Super Auto is going to go for? Or the true rookie? What's the 101 Chrome rookie going to go for? Because that's a good image, vertical. I could see that going for a lot of money too. All right, let's get back to the chat. See what the chat got. Let's see. 12K is reaching. Okay, Dana, I would broach this topic with you. Was 12K reaching for Diego Lopez last year? Does it matter if it's reaching because someone bought it for that price? It is a lot of money, but if we're just going off of this sale and what past sales have done, I do think it could easily be above 10K. I think it could easily be above 10K. I also know people are so hyped about Josh Vann, man. They are going to be so hyped about Josh Vann. The crowd went crazy when he came into the octagon. Like that usually doesn't even happen for guys that are already champions. The crowd did not go crazy like that for Paddy Pimblett. And Paddy Pimblett is a really, really big name, dude. So like he could command a super premium, in my opinion, when it comes to these cards. And what's crazy is we got a lot more rookie cards set to come out. I mean, we got tons of sales. I think we're going to have Sapphire this year. We're going to have Midnight this year. We're going to have Finest this year. A ton of different rookie cards, but we know that 2025 Topps Chrome is going to command the best value when it comes to these cards. So definitely something to keep in mind. 2025 Topps Chrome is going to have the true rookies. It is going to have the first autos that almost always are the most sought after cards. So definitely take that into account. Take that into, your opinions and your thoughts whenever you're pricing cards out and whenever you're thinking about selling those cards if you pulled them. Woo, we are deep into the conversation, and thank you guys so much for coming out today. I have one more topic I want to talk about, but I just wanted to say thank you guys for everybody watching, sending stuff in the chat. This was super fun with all the comments. This makes it so much easier to talk with you guys when you guys are participating in the chat. So thank you very much. Also, thank you to everybody who liked. We're at 39. What a crazy time today. Let's get to 40. Dude, 40, I think that might be the most we've ever had on air with likes, which is insane. So thank you guys so much for that. 35 viewers. Thank you guys for watching, man. Let's talk about another prospect that I was really excited about from UFC 317. This is a guy that he had a big finish. And I think he's got, some unique attributes that may really have him be a problem at this weight class. And this guy is the Jacobe Kobe Smith. Kobe Smith is what I'm guessing he wants to go by because on his nickname it was Kobe in quotes. So we're gonna call him Kobe Smith. Now, one thing that I had about Kobe Smith, he was listed at 5'8" in the stats, which I was like 5'8", like that is for 170. That is going to be very, very short. Now it worried me a lot, but when we saw him in the fight, to me he was very much closer to Nico Price than I was expecting. Is it the afro? He did have a fro on, which is going to give him, you know, quite a bit of height. So I couldn't necessarily tell if he was truly 5'8", but to me, I'm going to guess he's a little. And why is the UFC so bad at listing these guys' heights correctly? I don't understand that. I absolutely hate that. I don't like when the stats are incorrect when it comes to height and weight because it's so easy to get that from the players, and that goes across any sport. It just really bugs me. It would be so easy to measure these guys. Okay, but frame-wise, I thought he looked pretty good in this fight against Nico Price. I was worried he was going to be too short because he is a really good grappling guy. He's a grappler, wrestler, vicious ground and pound, man. Vicious ground and pound. Like, check this image out, dude. Like, he's throwing almost Habib-like, or almost reminiscent of like early Habib-like bombs that he throws in ground and pound, which I love to see. Ground and pound is some of my favorite sequences when it comes to fighting. It's just like, it's so like barbaric almost. Like, you're just, it's not pretty, it's sloppy, but you're getting the job done when you're landing those big shots. And he landed some big shots in the ground and pound. But he also finished Nico Price, who is a guy that I'm not saying Nico Price is great, okay? I'm not saying he's great, but he is not a guy that is just going to give up on himself. He is pretty gritty. He is pretty tough. And Kobe came out there. He ground and pounded him. Now, he did gas a little in that first round, but it was because I think he got a little too excited. He had some early success with some striking, rocked him a little bit, and I think he got a little too excited, put his foot on the gas a little too hard, and kind of spent himself out a little bit. But he made some adjustments in round 2. He did get hit a few times, so he's definitely got, you know, he needs to work on defensive movement a little bit in his striking. But he has power, he has speed. He was able to kind of come back from that empty gas tank in round 2. Really strong wrestler, man. Got him against the cage and tossed him immediately. He also has really good control, and we know that he was able to get the sub on Nico Price. So I am excited about Jacobe Kobe Smith. Maybe we see him in a 2025 set. Maybe he comes in 2026. But personally, he's going to be a guy that I continue to try and watch his fights, continue to try and see more film of, and I'll probably follow his career because I think his ground and pound style and him being kind of shorter and like more stocky it does play well to a grappler wrestler. So I'm going to be interested to follow his career as he continues to get better and as he continues to go up in the rankings and fight more guys in the UFC. All right. Oh, we did it, boys. We did it. Again, thank you, everybody, for watching. We hit 40 likes. Y'all are the BMFs, man. Thank you, everybody who's watching. I appreciate y'all so much. Hopefully, y'all having fun with 25 Topps Chrome. And I'm going to get out of here. So y'all have a good rest of your day, and peace.